This is a freshwater inlet that we installed on our Hawk four-wheel camper. We covered the water tank and the sink in the last two videos. In this video, we'll cover the pump and the plumbing in between. We'll also show you a very minimal water system that we use in the wintertime. Both our systems work great, and sometimes we use both for extra capacity. First, we'll start with what didn't work so well, beginning with this little white patch above our inlet. Four-wheel campers have aluminum frames, and that's what makes them so strong and light. The problem is they won't tell you where the frame is. I put a link below to a great video that helps you find your frame. This is what happens when you go buy pictures of the frame in the four-wheel camper factory and take a stab at it. I should have drilled tiny pilot holes from the inside to probe for the frame just to be sure. When this happens, you have no choice but to drill a new hole. And then you get this. Then you patch it the best you can with some plastic or aluminum sheet material and Dicor lap seal, and you live with it. Okay, that was goof number one. Goof number two was buying a great little submersible pump without really thinking through the water system plan. This is an excellent German-made pump made for an on-command system with a jerry can type of jug. If you have a good place for such a jug, this might be a good option for a minimalist electric system. But, well, here's a video from back then that explains our path. And my original idea, I wanted to tell you a little bit about pumps, was to just get a little submersible 12-volt pump and put it in my water tank. Well, what I found out is that you really have to have a tank with access to it. So I got a deck plate. I was going to put a deck plate in, and I finally decided that this is not a good fit for this tank. So instead of this, it's a Comet Elegant pump made in Germany. So it's a very nice little electrical submersible pump. Instead of that, I got a whale Babyfoot pump, which makes noise when there's no water in it, but it's very simple. You just pump it with your foot. I'll put this under the sink. I mounted it on a board to hold it in place. And if this doesn't work, I might go to a small external pump. But this is my next attempt at a low-cost and simple low electricity pump. Okay, now back to our final system. Let's trace the plumbing inside the camper, starting where it attaches to this inlet fixture, but from the inside of the battery compartment. The arrow points at the back of the inlet, and the turquoise and white hose is the 1 1/4 freshwater inlet hose. The hose goes through the battery compartment into the furnace compartment, down by the propane box, then through a gray conduit which carries it over the electrical compartment into the water tank. The bottom hose is the outlet, and it goes down under the bench. You can see it in the back there. And then across over the top of the turnbuckle hatch, back into the propane area by the propane boxes, and down to the Babyfoot pump. There's a T that allows us to drain the pump through this valve that drains to the outside. But the outlet of the pump goes back up through the furnace compartment on this 3/8 inch tubing and then that goes back over the battery compartment to the faucet. Just to be clear, the arrows in this picture point to the 3/8 inch tubing that goes up to the faucet connections under the sink. So now let's look at the system in action just after it was completed. Okay, we're testing the water system. We added about 3 gallons. I started to mark the side of the tank. I added a sight tube. Maybe it's not necessary because you can see the water in the tank. That's the air vent line. That's the water outlet. That's the fresh water intake. I had a little bit of leak in one spot, but I had forgotten to tighten the clamps. So far, everything's good. So the outlet water goes under our bench and into this cabinet where we have the whale Babyfoot pump. And so if we pump it, it seems to work great. Well, it's been 3 years now, and our foot pump and water system are still working great, and we love having a simple, reliable system. I really recommend the whale Babyfoot pump. Our faucet did freeze one year because although we drained it, we didn't blow it out, and the plastic insides cracked. That's the one on the left. So we went to the one on the right that is all metal and more rugged. Also, we pull out the tank and pump in the winter and move to a winter system, which I'll cover next. We use the winter system November through March, and I offer it here as a super minimalist system that would really be fine to use year-round, especially if you're doing any really remote boondocking, because it is compatible with a gravity filter system that we use for backpacking. This is our little kitchen, and this is our winter water system. It's a very minimalist system. Uses a Platypus 3-liter water bag, a little cooler replacement faucet or spigot. It's got a little valve disconnect and a cap that goes onto the water bag. And it also utilizes the finger hole in our sink. So I've put the winter water system in with the faucet in the finger hole, and this is how we use it. We pull the lid up, just turn that around, and then the bag just hangs up here. Kind of like an IV bag. Open the valve, pinch valve there, and we're all ready to go. And the water goes right in the sink if you spill it. Well, that's what we do for water in our 4-wheel camper. It's really applicable to any camper or van build, especially for minimalists. We hope you found something useful, and please let us know if you have any questions. Next, we'll cover our gray water setup. So please subscribe to follow along, and thanks much for watching.